What's going on, HPP fam? Welcome back to another episode. We are picking up where we left off last week. Royce's car is all back together and up and running, as you just heard. And now we're going to go through a little checklist on the car, make sure everything is ready, so when we take it out to the track, we hopefully don't have any issues. So we're going to warm it up, check trans fluid, check all the adjustments, go over all the suspension components, check clamps, you name it. Just go over the car and make sure that everything's 100%, so when we go out to the track, we can make a new best time. We also need to put the car on the dyno because we changed our pulley sizes, and we need to find out how much boost we're actually making now. We removed the 10% overdrive lower and put a stock diameter lower on it, and then we have added a smaller pulley at the supercharger. So we need to find out what that equates to as far as boost. Now, we spoke with ProCharger and we spoke with A&A Corvette, and we feel that we came up with a combination that should make similar boost, 15 to 17 pounds depending on our red line. We were shifting the car, it's a power glide car, we were shifting the car at 6,400 RPM, and that was due to not wanting to overspin the blower. But now that we changed the pulley combo, we should be able to go to 7,000 RPM, which is going to help our short track out, and we should pick up some more mile an hour, which would be great. And we should see closer to 17 pounds of boost by redline now instead of 15. So we'll see what happens. We'll stick it on the dyno, double check all that. In the meantime, let's finish up this tune on this 2021 Scat. So as we move forward with our week, if you guys remember this car a couple weeks ago, it came in, we did the intake manifold on it, did some spark plugs, some other small things. Anyways, it is back because while it was here, we also noticed that the ball joint underneath this arm is bad. And so, it's actually this forward arm. But anyways, when he brakes, the whole shooting match is moving around, and it's making a clunking noise because of the ball joint being bad. So we got some new arms, so we're going to replace both arms in the front on both sides, all new ball joints, and get rid of that clunking noise for him. No more weird squeak when he steers, all that good jazz. Get that front end tightened back up on that Mustang. Also, we have dropped off, or a customer has dropped off Chrysler 300. This is an SRT8 model. I don't remember what year, but it is a 6.1 liter HEMI. So that tells you kind of the spectrum of what year this car is. It has been dropped off to have a torque storm installed. So as you can see, we've started tearing the car down. I'm going to remove the front end. We're going to remove the core support in preparation for the intercooler. So we'll be making some modifications there, mounting the intercooler up, getting the torque storm installed. We'll build custom piping, so I'm sure you guys will later this week in this episode see a little TIG weld in action. But we are going to get this thing with that torque storm installed hopefully this week, get it tuned, see what kind of power the classic 6.1 makes with a little bit of boost behind it. Anyways, we got Royce's all wrapped up, took it out for a test drive, ran great. The wideband is not working, so I need to look into that. I don't know if that was one of the things that he had an issue with, but we're going to check that out while the car's here. And we do need to stick it on the dyno, so stay tuned because that thing's a monster on the dyno, so we'll see what that thing does. Oh, also, before I forget to talk about it, our 2021 Scat Pack that we did our stage 3 cam, finished tuning the car. Finished out at I think 512 or 515 horsepower and 530 foot-pounds of torque. So this baby came to us all the way from Oklahoma, so the customer's gonna be driving it back home to Oklahoma. But he'll be here tomorrow to pick it up. so that's exciting. That one's going home. So as you can see, the Gremlin is on the dyno. I don't know if I'll have a chance to strap her down and make some pulls, but I need to check the car over because we got a race coming up. So I'd like to check the car over and make sure everything is copacetic before we go out racing again with it. But let's get these arms replaced on this Mustang real quick. As you can see, guys, our Mustang is all back together, so I'm going to drop this thing down off the loo, go take it for a test drive, and we'll call the customer. Give her on back. We got our new arms installed on both sides. So that's a wrap. As we move right along with our day, John has been diligently working on our torque storm install. As you can see, the crank has been drilled, the hub is on, and it looks like John has just mounted our head unit. Looks like we've got our inner belt on, and pretty soon we're having our outer belt on. That way we can start figuring out our intercooler pipe. But John has been making great progress on our torque storm. So we're going to keep trucking along, show you where we end up. We've got another one in here today. Boom, 2014 Ram 1500 with a 5.7 liter HEMI. That I'm not sure, I believe it's a Texas Speed camshaft, but another shop did the installation and another shop did the tune. And let's just say that shop is known for their LS work, not for their HEMI work, which you can do both, we do. But unfortunately, after the customer going back over and over and over for several months about getting the tune right, the truck would die. Spent all this money on the cam, had 0 chop, idle was at 1,000. Obviously they could not get the truck tuned. So, got it on the dyno. I have already gone through, put a stock file back in it and started over. Let me show you what we got so far. I'll reach in here. Okay, nice start. Ooh, what's that? Sounds like we're chopping. Sounded pretty good. Right. So, we're already heading in the right direction on this. Let's make some power pulls, see where it ends up, and get this customer happy with his Ram. So as you just witnessed, some craziness with the old Pro Charge Vet. Man, this thing's making great power. On that last pull, you seen some extra stuff go on. That's because the charge pipe blew off. So 18 pounds of boost went up flying everywhere. So that was pretty cool. So let me show you what it made on boost. Woo, through that power glide. That joker there is a ripper. But we still got a few more changes to make, and we're gonna make one more pull. We got the charge pipe fixed. And I think there was one other thing, small issue, got it repaired. So we're gonna make one more tug on this, probably in the morning. This afternoon it's warmed up pretty good, and we've got some other projects we need to wrap up, to include this one. Remember our 5.7 that we put a monster camshaft in, E85 converted, big injector, 6.1 intake or 6.4 intake manifold, active runner control is working. Got our MSD box on that joker. MSD box on that joker. Got a, not a super fan of the intake, but we've got an intake on here, aftermarket Colpax water pump, Hellcat oil pump, long tube headers, 3-inch MBRB exhaust. This thing, this car makes the most power I think I've ever made out of a 5.7 as far as a max effort build is concerned. All motor, this thing made like 507, I think, wheel horsepower. So that's monstrous out of a 5.7 HEMI. As you can see, this car is gutted. But we paused. It might make more power. We paused. It was running lean. So we've got a Pro Charger fuel pump kit going in. Like I said, this car is on full E85. Big 5-inch tips on this Johnny. So when John gets back from lunch, he'll put in the fuel pump on that, and so we'll make final tugs on the Corvette, and then this Bad Mama Jamma is going back on the dyno for final numbers. Got some packages in. As you can see, we got our charge pipes and our intercooler mounted on our torque store. So all that stuff is ran. Looking good. Monstrous front mount on this thing. The last thing I need to do as far as the pipes are concerned is I'm going to take this pipe off right here and weld on the blow off valve flange. We're going to put the blow off valve right here. That and the intake air temp sensor bone. But those are the last two things as far as the piping are concerned on this Johnny. John got the booster pump installed in the back of the car this morning. We've already got the injectors installed as well. So I think we're getting really close. We'll test fit the front bumper. I know there's going to be some trimming. There always is with the bigger intercoolers. I say bigger, you know, Torque Storm, you have to build all this stuff from scratch. So this intercooler is obviously not even for this car. Well, it originally was never for this car. You can make most intercoolers fit, depending on whether they're side or back door entry. I'm not going to bore you with that stuff. But anyways, it's a big intercooler. It's a 4.5-inch core, 1200 horsepower rated intercooler. Overkill for the setup, but if he ever grows, he's got the intercooler for it. Doesn't have to change again, which is nice. Versus running one of those $150 eBay Johnnies. Which, no disrespect, my 9-second, almost 8-second race car has got a Godspeed $150 eBay intercooler on it. I just want to see how far it will go before it blows, and I mean, it's seen 45 pounds of boost. It's pretty interesting. But that's here nor there. They're not super efficient. That's one from back in the day. They were actually pretty good. These ones from China now are like, they're real shitty. As this week comes to a close, got this 2006 Miata doing a little rotation, a little oil change on. And yesterday afternoon, John got our fuel pump installed on our Charger. And we're gonna see if our lean condition at wide open throttle is solved. So let's hop behind the keypad, poke some buttons, see what kind of power this thing makes wrapped up. as you can see, we have a new car on the dyno. So I've got this 2018 Scat Pack on the dyno. This car come from up north. Guy lives in Texas now. Was done by another shop, and he's just not happy with how the car idles. It pushes real hard in gear. A couple other things. It's got a camshaft, long tubes intake, some other things. Hellcat throttle body. So instead of sending the car back up there, also we had a problem with the map sensor. So regardless, it's got a new sensor in it, and the car is ready to be retuned. So he heard a lot of good things about us, brought the car here. So let's get after it. Mind you, our 5.7 car is outside, all wrapped up, ready to go home. That car made some serious monster power for a 5.7 liter HEMI. I don't have the graph pulled up, I just cleared it for this car. But that thing made like 512, I think, on a cold pass, 507 consistently. Monster 5.7 HEMI. We'll go ahead and make a baseline run. So we have our baseline run out of the way now. Let's take a peek at what it made. So this is the horsepower and torque reading off of the file that it came in on. Good looking graph, but I'm pretty sure we can improve on that. And then if we look, the air fuels are pretty lean, so we'll address that as well. Let's go ahead and dive into this thing and get it tuned out. Sorry about that delay there in runs. You see me run over there and talk to somebody and then grab a piece of pipe and run back. Some guy with NSX having some turbo kit built somewhere, some shop, we don't know, needed a piece of 3-inch intercooler pipe that was bead rolled on one side and he could weld on the other. So I walked over to my scrap bin. I had one for him and I gave it to him. He's like, how much is it? I said, it's free, man. It was in my trash bin. He was so excited because he's going to be able to get his car done, get it shipped. He is going to Phoenix, Arizona tomorrow. So the car needs to get finished and go on a trailer. So it's always nice to help another person out when you can. You guys should do the same. Help somebody out when you can. Anyways, let me take you over here to the graph. Boom. 499, 495. So as you can see, gains everywhere throughout the whole graph. That's only on the first flash. So I got a feeling this trigger's gonna make over 500. We just gotta keep chipping away at it. We'll go after those air fuels a little bit. Let's see what happens. And as you can see, we got some wires right here. That's for our hob switch for our booster pump. But torque storm's all welded up. Got the piping going on. Linear room, looking good. So this thing is lacking a few things. We need the coolant reservoir from torque storm. And then we need our vacuum distribution block, and I think that's it. We might need a intake air temp sensor, not quite sure yet. But other than that, this thing's pretty much wrapped up. We should be hitting the dyno hopefully sometime middle of next week. But that is going to do it for this week's episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.